Good morning and welcome to this annual general meeting of the Port Pendennis Village Management Board. My name is Ray Wilson and I'm chairman for just a few weeks actually, because right now we are sharing the chairmanship. The board over the last 12 months have really been occupied with a number of subjects that we're all familiar with and some new things. The major issues are, of course, where there is high expense, that's in the maintenance of our gardens and the maintenance including the redecoration of the properties. And you will have noticed that the costs of redecoration go up year on year pretty well, and most of that is in fact due to the age of our properties being such that there's more and more repair required. This area was of course redecorated last year and repair work done on timber work and on roof tiles. You'll have noticed that the cost of all of this work is going up not only as the buildings get older, but realistically as our long-time painting contractor has retired, and strangely the prices from the other bidders have gone up markedly in the last couple of years. And you'll notice that we hadn't put the management charges up, but we have eroded the reserves to some degree. So next year we feel that it'll be necessary to raise management charges slightly and probably thereafter sort of hold the same level of reserves as we have now by collecting virtually what we spent in the previous year.
Last year we promised to rebuild the tumble-down fence next to the TA Centre, and the work was completed in August.
Gardens are one of our big ticket items, and you've noticed there's been a lot of work going on over the past winter, a lot of severe cutting back and pruning, and so, in some places replacement of shrubs. This is simply because over the years the shrubs have become into mango.
After many years of trying, during the painting operations, I managed to get the north indicator on the cupola weather vane actually pointing north. Christmas came and went, followed by a brief period of spring, and then the beastly easterly set in, killed all the plants, and we had snow in Port Pendennis, the first for about 8 years.
Stores has been one of the areas that there's been some discussion about on the board in this year, and you will have noticed that we've decided to make a charge of £100 per year for those having stores which are not part of their lease but are being charged independently now of our normal management charges. And in fact we can make more stores available, because here we have the old bin stores which have now been moved around behind the garages, which we'll see in a moment, and these have been separated so that we have individual units for letting to owners. You'll recall that last year we introduced the subject of the new bin area, moving from the bin stores, which were always a problem with rats and so on. Moving them to this fresh air area is much better. We have a very clean, respectable place to keep our rubbish, as you see.
The board regrets the recycling service in the new bin store had to be withdrawn. The small bins available soon became overloaded. Of course, the simple answer is simply to get bigger bins. Big bins need a lifting mechanism to empty them, and unfortunately Cornwall does not have that facility available at this time. Bin lifts are available for general waste, which is then crushed in the truck, mixing the different types of waste all together, which defeats the object. When larger recycling bins do become available in Cornwall, we will consider reinstalling the recycling facility. Meanwhile, the fortnightly collection from individual properties will continue.
Prior to last year's AGM, there were a number of lampposts removed from the village following a lamppost having fallen over. At the meeting last year, the members were determined that we should reinstate all of the lampposts, which, although the board had concluded that wasn't necessary, and we accepted that we would go along with the membership. However, there have been a number of complexities. You can see one of them here. The old foundation cannot be dug out because it's so close to this drain, and we stopped this job until it was determined that resiting would be possible in this area. So a brand new foundation will go in for this. There have been a number of discussions about the safety aspects. Clearly, having had a lamppost fall over, fortunately no one anywhere near it, we realised the dangers of not having the safest possible solution, and therefore there's been a number of discussions with contractors and engineers about the best way in which to reinstate not only the lampposts that have been taken away, but in the future probably progressively put new foundations in throughout the village. The Marina Walls Trust account has been the subject of vexed discussions over a number of years at both board meetings and AGMs. I'm pleased to advise you that the issue of sign-off of the accounts is behind us. This has been conducted during this year, and we are satisfied that the subject is put to bed. And I'm sure James may have something to say later if people have questions for him.
The anodes appear to be working well.
That view was as the anodes were nearly 3 years ago, and this is the view as they are today. All the anodes are bubbling away just as they did when they were first installed. The anodic material itself decays slowly and each anode will require replacing. That is estimated to be in the year of around 2020 to 2021, at which time the thickness of the piles will be resurveyed. All the signs are quite positive.
The subject of holiday lets has been on the board agenda from time to time during the last year. There does appear to be a number of people who let their properties, and the agents don't necessarily give the appropriate instructions to those who to rent the property. We just want people to be aware that the ability to rent as a holiday let is actually a grace and favour position. The board do not want to have to withdraw that privilege from people. In the final analysis would obviously need to do so. Thank you very much for coming to the AGM today. It's important to us that we get the input from as many owners as possible. So